Happy New Year and good evening to all dear friends. And Assalamu alaikum as well. Thanks for the feedback of past many weeks. And what I can say in response is that uh, revolutions are expression of anger, frustration, and normally if we go through the history of revolutions, we can easily conclude that only American Revolution has provided an environment conducive for creation of a society where the respect for fundamental human rights is there and where spirit of true federalism prevails and where people are having true democracy there. And all those who are having those quick dictatorial solutions, I think they're all impressed from communist revolutions, fascist and Nazi revolutions, and they have a little respect for their fellow humans and their fundamental rights. And I cannot encourage such such people. I mean, I think through democracy, rule of law, and respect for fundamental human rights, these are values must be promoted everywhere in the world, especially in subcontinent, where respect for fundamental human rights is lacking since long, and people are in grip of sectarian feelings. They are in grip of regional feelings. They have tribal inclinations. And too many biases are prevailing here in absence of quality education, in absence of true leadership since long. So people are generally confused here. They think sometimes they come up with praise for rapid justice prevailing there in China. For their information, I must tell them that in Constitution of Pakistan there is a special clause for extension from extending cruel punishments. So we Pakistanis we also have a constitution which provides for respect for fundamental human rights. And to see all that in letter and spirit, we always were in need of leadership which can not only understand its constitutional obligations but can uh, implement constitution in letter and spirit as well. And we are having a government here that is led by an Oxford graduate, and luckily our prime minister, he is leader of all the times. And maybe his psycho friends they push him to uh, use some methods to get more support for his party or something. But he must know that he's leader of the people since long, and everyone in Pakistan they are his followers. I mean, people from different political parties they had provided funds for his uh, cancer hospital and for his other ventures as well. So he is not in need of pushing somebody towards his party or coercing somebody to in his party. No, he does not require that. Everybody is his follower. People of all the age groups. That is you see very astonishing fact that he had influenced the minds of everyone of his own age group. People are his followers. Younger generations, they're all his followers because of his character. He is honest, upright, and just and fair person. So his friends who are involved in pushing others or screaming in parliament that they will curb the voices and all that dictatorial agenda of them is just harmful for him and his party as well. He does not need that kind of rhetoric. He has got following of all the people of Pakistan. And till today, though there are many problems, but people are still his followers at large scale. And we all hope and pray that he can uh, implement fundamental rights clauses of the constitution here so that uh, phenomena prevailing since long that people rights of the people were suspended here in Pakistan at one plea or another, and there was a warlike situation here between rulers and the ruled. Economy was affected, and everyone here is now. I mean, in absence of quality education, people they are generally having dictatorial trends among them. So all this can be corrected, and he can be of a great help to the people of Pakistan and to himself as well. And whenever we criticize as journalists, as politicians, we do that for the good of our country and not for personal reasons. Personally, we are all his followers and we are always with him, and we have supported him in all good and bad times. And I think people of developing countries, especially of Pakistan, they are intelligent people and they learn quickly. And I think that extending slaps phenomena on uh, TV channels and debates on intensity of slaps extended by a minister to a journalist or a journalist to a minister, that wrestling like phenomena prevailing in parliament and that bad language which is being heard even yesterday in parliament. I think that phenomena will end soon, and that shall end soon because you see once. you are a leader of a political party, you are you are at your own, and you are spending on yourself and your party through your party funds or whatever. But once you are in power, then you are getting huge sums of money from national exchequer, and you are supposed to serve the people of Pakistan. Whether you are in parliament and getting huge salaries, or whether you are a prime minister or president or whatever. So once you cannot uh, stay within limits of your constitutional obligations in a federation of Pakistan, and once you are trying to mislead people into conflict and chaos and economic disaster, then I mean, uh, people have no other option but to change their opinion about you. And besides, in West, people, when they realize that they cannot justify their positions, they do resign so that better ones can come in and can take over and can start serving the people. So, for sticking to cheer for sake of money, that okay, people have voted for us, but we cannot deliver what we had promised, but uh, for just for salary's sake and for perks and privileges' sake, we are sticking to our positions. And so that phenomena that makes everyone insecure because Pakistan is an organized state, organized society known as state, and it shall be better managed and so that interest of everyone, every citizen is being served in constitutional manner. And I hope all my friends who were raising this issue before me are happy with my response. I'm a straightforward person, and in fact, I buy myself uh, after completion of my education was awarded with big responsibilities like running three institutions at a time, uh, educational institutions. Uh, those institutions were financially and academically, those institutions were down. So armed forces people came and they had asked me to help, and I did that within 3 months. I think those institutions were all right, and within 3 years they were earning huge profits. Those institutions became academically sound and financially they were in a position within 3 years that they were earning huge profits because of the quality of education which was being delivered in those institutions. So I had to work hard for all that, and the moment I had felt that those were private institutions and the owner of those institutions was a bit greedy, and the moment he has started doing immoral practices and had tried to involve me too, I immediately resigned. So you see, this is the way of of doing things in a organized society known as state. And I think we all must have that sense that okay, with every position there are salaries, perks, and privileges, but there are some certain duties attached to that position as well. And once we realize that because of certain reasons we cannot perform those duties honestly, then we must leave that place. We must leave that position. And only this way we can serve our country in a better way. And not only I had left those three positions at one time, but I had written too much about uh, drawbacks present in educational system. And immediately got more assignments. But, what I want to convey to everyone is that we become more secure if honest people are there and they believe in uh, honest dealings, and they are having enough education, and they are having that good sense that they are there to deliver and deliver quality stuff. So by this way we can move forward. I mean, all other kind of behaviors are very much uh, likely to push everyone into a quagmire, which is always visible here in developing countries, because good sense is lacking because of absence of quality education. And then there are certain other reasons as well, like fascist Nazi influences and authoritarian setup, torture of children in homes, torture of children in schools, and torture of highly educated people in government offices. Recently, I had a very bitter experience while serving in FDMA as monitoring officer. That once you're more educated than others, then they try to be nasty, and if they're around you, and especially in the province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, there is a general uh, disrespect for higher education, and I think Prime Minister should take notice of this situation. And once, as the Prime Minister knows, that because of the devolution, education is now mainly a provincial subject. So I respect all my fellow citizens, whether they are just matriculate or they are holding PhD degrees. And but in terms of responsibility, I recommend only those who are qualified enough and who can say, for example, a friend of us is leading matriculate education minister for Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Well, we have universities here, you see, and a person who was never a university student and suddenly became uh, education minister, how he will run their affairs. Minister is supposed to supervise everyone, and minister is there to address the complaints. The minister is there to come up with policy. So how a matriculate person can do that? And even if bureaucrats are making policy for him, he is supposed to supervise all that. And he will approve once he is having enough expertise in his uh, in agreement with the policy uh, made by bureaucrats. And with Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, for the knowledge of Prime Minister, I must say that we don't have educated people in bureaucracy as well. Very few are left here, and even they are in a very bad situation. So I hope everything will be fine here, and that revolutionary thinking that even uneducated person can lead a country which is prevailing there in our neighboring federation of India, and only votes they count. And once a person is being elected, he has a right to become a minister. Well, for their information, all those who are coming up with this argument, I must say that mother of all federations, known as United States of America, educational qualification was a criteria for being member of parliament from 76 onwards till 1920. In 1920, when everyone got right to vote, when that right to vote was granted to women folk in USA. So everything, all those developments of huge nature which we can see in United States of America is outcome of the efforts of that educated leadership which had led USA into prosperity. And by ignoring education, we can only harm ourselves and our society as well. Because once you don't have properly qualified people at appropriate places, you people, we all become insecure. And Prime Minister, he understands that more than me. I had graduated here in Pakistan. My MPhil is in American Studies, and he did his BA from Oxford. He's graduate from Oxford, and standard in Oxford is much better than Kajazam University. So he can understand that better than me. I hope that sanity will prevail, and everyone there. If there is a will, there is a way. You can pick any person who is having enough qualification and can make him education minister for 6 months, and after that he has to get himself elected from some vacant seat of provincial assembly and will become a full-fledged asset for province. So that is constitutional way of doing things. I wish all the best to all of you and good luck as well.